Okay, so on my directions for the CSS portion, I'm right down here. Create a CSS file, write rules that will format your page to look very similar to the image samples below. And technically it doesn't matter which order we do these in, but so let's go from top to bottom, left to right kind of thing. Reset rule to remove default margin and padding. Set all fonts to Verdanta at 90%. So this is the first couple bullets there, the old reset rule. Okay, so let me jump back over to my CSS file, and the reset rule will be an asterisk, margin, padding set to 0 pixels. Alright, takes care of that one. Now the next one was to set all fonts to Verdanta at 90%. There's a couple ways we could do this. We could actually do it in the reset rule, but normally what we do is let's set the body of the page. Okay, font family Verdanta, font size 90%. There we go. And what else have we got? Let's see. Background color for page is pale yellow, $FFC. There we go. Jump back up here. Background color, $FFC. Wrapper has dark blue solid border 4 pixels thick. Okay, so this kind of thing, I might want to double check my HTML and see, okay, yes, there is a wrapper and it's contained within this div. There's the start of it, and the bottom of it is down here at the bottom, the end of the wrapper. So it contains practically all of the web page, and it is ID equals wrapper, all lowercase letters. So, wrapper, and I forgot what the directions told me to do. Dark blue solid border 4 pixels thick. Okay, border 4 pixels thick, solid, and any shade of dark blue will do. I'll do 006. Anything else for the wrapper? Wrapper is 700 pixels wide, and the margins are set so it centers horizontally. Okay, so the wrapper is 700 pixels wide, and the margins are set so it will center horizontally. There's a few ways, and really, obviously, with margin you can do this, but really you want left and right margins of auto. So I will go ahead and do 0 pixels top and bottom, auto left and right. That'll get me a horizontal centering. And there, okay. So let me go ahead and hit save. I'm going to jump over to my browser for a moment. Here's the page as it is now. Let me do a refresh, and now this is what I've got. My wrapper has the dark blue border, and it's centered horizontally on the page. I'm using Firefox right now, but this should be pretty much the same in IE or Chrome as well. Okay, so we're moving along here. What's next on the agenda? Menu to the left of the header, with the headline 1 being centered. So there's a header section. So if I see on my HTML file here, before my products even start, I have a div that's a header, ID equals header, and within that there's a div that's a menu, and then after the menu there's a headline 1. Okay, so back on the directions, the menu to the left of the header with the H1 centered, and I can see on the picture here the menu is ultimately going to be on the left, and the headline 1 is centered there in the space. So let's see what we can do with this. I'm going to jump over to my CSS file. Okay, and for the header, I'm just going to do text align center. Do that for now. And for the menu, I want that over to the left, so I'm going to float it to the left. Okay, save that, browser, refresh, and that kind of gets the menu over there. Of course it looks a little sloppy right now, but let's see what happens after we do a little bit more work on that menu. What else have we got on the bullets here? The hyperlinks in the menu use an 8-point bold white font, and the blue button GIF as a background image. Okay, so we're going to make a little menu out of this, a more menu-y looking menu. So I'm going to jump back over to my CSS file. Okay, the hyperlinks in my menu. So check out how this is written. Let me scroll this up a bit. Okay, the anchor tags within my menu. The directions state hyperlinks in the menu, 8-point bold white font. Okay, font weight bold. color white, and there's also a background image, bluebutton.gif. And of course I just wrote that incorrectly, so let's fix that up. URL parentheses, and so the file name is enclosed in parentheses. There we go. Now we just practiced a couple days earlier that when you're putting a background image on an anchor tag like this and you want to make it a menu, then it's always helpful if you can set the width and the height of the anchor tag. And to set the width and the height of an anchor tag, which is an inline element, you want to make it a block element. So let's make it a block element, and then we can set the width and the height. And the height you should use should be the same as the dimensions for the background image that you're using in this case. So I need to jump over here to my folder. There's my blue button GIF image, and if I mouse over it here in Windows Vista, I can see that my dimensions are 117 by 24. So width 117 pixels by 24 pixels. I'm going to go ahead and save that, jump over to my browser, refresh, and there we're getting our little menu action going on. Okay, what else are on our directions? Let's see, 8 point. Ooh, did I do 8 point? I can't recall. Let me jump back over to my editor here. Nope, I forgot to do 8 points. It did look a little big, so let me just plug in font size 8 point. Save that, browser, refresh. Ah, that looks a little bit better. Okay. So that takes care of that column. Let's look and see what's over here. Header and product sections use dark blue background with pale yellow font. Okay, so remember we've got that ID equals header, but we also have, if you recall, we made these product sections. Remember class equals product right in there for each of those divs? So both of them have some similar characteristics. My header and my product sections, both of them have, what do the directions say? Dark blue background, pale yellow font. Okay. Background color, #006, dark blue, color, light yellow font. I'll just use, well, there's my #, FFC. That's the same color we used before. Save that. Refresh. There we go. So that's got that part taken care of. What's next on the agenda? Headline 2 within the product sections are all uppercase, white, centered with yellow bottom border. Headline 2s within the product sections. Okay, there's a bunch of headline 2s in there, so back over to the CSS file. Okay, so basically I've got these product sections, and within those there's a headline 2. Okay, so headline 2s within my product classed divs. Okay, they are supposed to have uppercase text, white, and centered. Text align center, color white, text transform, uppercase. Anything else? With a yellow bottom border. Border bottom, 2 pixels, solid yellow. Oops, there we go. Closing curly braces, Control S to save. Back to the browser. Let's see how that's looking. Alright, so there they all are. What's next?